So we likened it to ice cream. We were like, what's your flavour? You know, neurodivergence is a spectrum. We're all different. We've got all different gifts. So we had a variety show. So it was kind of a cabaret and a real mix of different styles and flavours of entertainment.
A lot of companies that have maybe asked my access requirements at the bottom of a form, but this is the first time that my access requirements have been embraced at the forefront.
We want to be able to support them in whatever aspects of the innumerable complexities of theatre making. It's not easy to put on theatre of any level, at any stage.
And you're just looking around, and I suddenly realised I was in this group of absolutely brilliant, neurodivergent, proud women. And that's actually a very unique thing that doesn't happen very often.
So what is Neurodelicious? It's a performance movement of individuals who have all kinds of neurodivergences. You know, the full flavour. We've got the whole menu really, haven't we?
The full menu and some.
Yeah, so it's an opportunity for those artists and crew to come together and make art, knowing that they can be unapologetically themselves, ourselves. That's kind of what it's about.
I've been working with Hannah since 2020 or 2019, and before I met her, I'd never even heard of the word access or neurodivergent. This is all totally new to me, and now that whole world makes up pretty much everything I do in my working life. And again, through working with Hannah and others, we realised there's a lot of kind of roadblocks that people who have various neurodivergencies face within the performing arts industries and the wider creative industries. So that's the main driving force of why we set it up, is to help more people through those barriers and obstacles, and for audiences to create cultural experiences that put them first rather than it being an add-on, sort of making it standard.
So the first step for developing Neurodelicious was creating a small collective of neurodivergent artists. We happened to all be women at the time, but that's not a specific thing. And we put on a cabaret style show to tour. So we did a very small tour to test the waters out. We went to Cambridge Junction and we went to Colchester Arts Centre for Colchester Fringe. And it was quite a lengthy show actually. It was, I think it was 2 hours. It was quite long. And we had a whole spectrum of flavours of performance. So there would be something that everybody would like, but not everybody would like all of it, if that makes sense. So then we came up with the idea of Neurodelicious as drag. And I'd been really connected to the community here at Mercury Theatre. They do the Lates thing every month. So I'd done a few drag workshops as well. So it just seemed like a natural progression. And I wanted to take myself out of my comfort zone. I wanted to try something new, different, bold. And the risk taker side of me was like, yeah, let's just do this, why not? So then we got Arts Council funding again. We were able to go to the vaults, and then finally I got my dream of performing at the Mercury Theatre here in the studio, which was like amazing. So the vaults, I like to put myself in difficult situations, and the vaults for a neurodivergent person is sensory hell. So we knew it was going to be challenging. It's based underneath, I think it's Waterloo Station, in these tunnels underground. Now, I know myself that I struggle with feeling claustrophobic sometimes, feeling enclosed. So I knew that was going to be challenging, but I was just like, okay, let's create almost like an investigative process of how can we survive in these environments? Can we survive in this environment? So we were very honest with the people that we were working with about how this was going to be challenging. I mean, some people, experience OCD as well. So post-pandemic, going into those places was a real challenge, even just physically being there. But we were all up for taking ourselves out of the comfort zone and just seeing what happened, and knowing that it's a very well-established festival in London, and lots of people have got their big breaks there and stuff. So we decided to take the risk, and it was a really interesting experience.
Miss Dyspraxia, I think it's more Miss Destruction, actually. Please. You look gorgeous, darling. Wow. You look like a pansexual pride flag has been sick all over you. It's gorgeous. Miss Dyspraxia is the newest baby queen on the scene. How are you feeling? You okay, babes?
Well.
Yummy, nice. And then we've got what's your flavour? Tell me what's your flavour. And then it's Valentine's Day, so I want to see a nice strong slurp from everyone. Is that okay? Like this. Nice. So we go. Yummy, 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 yummy. What's your flavour? Tell me what's your flavour. Fab. My lovely sound team, can we hear what that sounds like for our audience, please?
So Neurodelicious is the first company or project that I've been a part of that's really catered for neurodivergence within myself, but also generally. I've been part of companies that have maybe asked my access requirements at the bottom of a form, but this is the first time that my access requirements have been embraced at the forefront of the entire project and have made me feel that it's kind of like I came out as neurodivergent, like fully, like whilst I've been a part of the project. Yeah, it was really freeing. I didn't realise how much was missing from my life and my identity. I think I was kind of going on I might be autistic and I might have ADHD and I might be neurodivergent, but actually how I figure that out and how I embrace it, it's kind of like the mask came off when I was surrounded by all these people and I was able to go, yeah, this is me, and actually here are so many layers of myself that I didn't even know existed until I was surrounded by people that embraced me and also embraced themselves, and I could see that happening. It's difficult, and I think being in a neurotypical world, for one thing, but also being when there's like conflicting access needs, and as someone, like I have conflicting access needs within myself, having ADHD and autism, they kind of like go like this a bit. And my autistic side kind of wins out most of the time. So if I was to work with a neurotypical person or someone with ADHD, oftentimes we've got conflicting access needs because everyone, even neurotypical people, have access needs. So the fact that the world is catered towards people that have the very specific access needs that are very societal can be challenging. For example, like when I need a quiet space, when I need it explained to me 10 times without judgment. If there's any sense of judgment in the 10th time of explaining it to me, it's so overwhelming, and I shut down away from it. And it can be hard to separate what is me, what is inaccessible for me, what is something that I've done wrong, or what is the world is not set up to appreciate me as me, and kind of finding that balance.
So, I have autism and ADHD. And to be honest, it's a big relief. Understanding yourself more, forgiving yourself more, and what's been really lovely since kind of embracing self-diagnosis, but also having that NHS underpinning, has been just the license to find my tribe. if I'm honest, really challenging at times. I think large groups of neurodivergent individuals tend to challenge each other, but that is not necessarily a bad thing. And what I have really carried forward from the project was just the absolute worthiness and importance and necessity of creating these spaces where neurodivergent individuals can come and do what they do best and really be themselves.
I was diagnosed with autism and ADHD as an adult, so it's been a learning curve, and I've learnt more about my conditions and how they affect me, and I've also been able to work with Neurodelicious with neurodivergent performers and work on inspiring people, educating people, and being able to basically get our creativity out there, but also be able to advocate and create awareness for autism and ADHD, as well as many other conditions that are under the same umbrella. So it's been wonderful.
I think the Mercury Theatre are the heart of launching this whole movement. If they had not given me that opportunity and invested in me, this wouldn't be happening, because I wouldn't have the capacity or the skills to even be here. So I was actually more nervous about performing here than I was in London or Cambridge or the Arts Centre, because to me this was like, okay, they've done the training, now what are you going to produce? So that was almost more nerve-wracking for me. But there's a real sense here of honesty, integrity, where you can just come as you are, you can be yourself. And there's acceptance, but there's also honest, nurturing, accountability. So I owed it to them. This was my big achievement, to be honest.
Are you like...
I'm probably filming you, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Are you like married to the ice cream, the big ones? Like, we're definitely going to use it when we dance.
Yeah, they don't have to be on stage at all.
Why don't we turn them into prop, and then when you and Flick become ice creams, which we can do on Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah. On Thursday, I also want to set Mother Knows Best with Flick.
So I've got all my makeup done, and we've got about 10 minutes until the live show, which is a bit scary. It's been a bit of a roller coaster today, lots of ups and downs, but we made it through. We're going to do our best. We've had some amazing people come to do the documentary interviews. So we've had Donovan and Greta helping out, Freddie and Bea as well. And I just wanted to show you the dressing room, actually. It's pretty cool. I love these funky lights. The reality of the ADHD mess. All my makeup, last minute prompts. But really cool space. They've allowed me to have like a little lie down area. So they've put out a special bed. I brought my weighted blanket as well. When I arrived, I had comfy clothes. So I literally was walking around in pyjamas. So I feel like access-wise, it's been really helpful. I've been able to have my sunglasses on when I was feeling a bit headachy and the lights were a bit bright. When I was lying down, we couldn't turn the main lights off, but I had an eye mask so I could have a bit of a chill out. The staff here have been amazing. Dyslexia has been on call, so if we needed anything access-wise, she's been there. Helen, our stage manager, has been awesome too, and Ash. So I just feel like we've been really well looked after and just really lucky to be in such a supportive building.
My background is I've been a commercial theatre producer for 26 years, so it's all about profit. And COVID-19 put an end to that, and my business went under. And I've worked with the Mercury for coming up to 10 years now, as an actor, as a producer, as a consultant, and then working full-time for the Mercury. I came on board at the end of the Mercury Creatives programme that I was a mentor on. And it was an incredible programme to work on. We got to work with 116 self-employed and small businesses across Essex, Kent, Suffolk, to give them 24 hours worth of free mentoring. And it was fantastic, and Hannah was one of the beneficiaries of that programme. So my job, my kind of agenda is that as a regional creative hub that the Mercury is, we have an open door policy here, and it's about allowing all artists, and I mean that in every single artist, any stage of their career, anybody who is based or has a connection with the Eastern region or Colchester individually, to come in, talk to us, and we'll be able to provide as many resources, as much nurturing and support that we possibly can. That's what it's all about. That's our duty, and it's what we believe in, and it's what I'm very passionate about. We want to be able to support them in whatever aspects of the innumerable complexities of theatre making. It's not easy to put on theatre of any level at any stage. So being able to help them with governance of the new CIC, being able to help them with how they put their creative processes in place that is suitable and workable for them, and then how the partnering venue or the tour venue or the other artists who may not be neurodivergent have to then adapt and open and keep that conversation going.
My favourite moment in the show is, I think, the first time I come onto the stage, I can hand out my flags to the whole audience, and the reason I do it is because the audience is a part of the show, whether I want them, you know, that an audience is a part of the show. And it can be quite intimidating for any person, a neurodivergent person, a neurotypical person, to suddenly get up and dance. And the fact that I give them a physical prop and they go, oh look, I've got this prop and I can wave it around, and suddenly they're dancing without thinking, I've got to dance now and I've got to dance and maybe people are judging me, but I'm just waving a flag around and that's fine, and it's freeing, and it's a beautiful moment to have so many people in the room standing up, sitting down, waving a flag, nodding their head, or just, you know, being part of it and being joyful and like finding that joy. So it's, yeah, a really beautiful moment to see that.
I think my favourite moment of the whole Neurodelicious experience was just after the first performance we had done at Cambridge, and everyone came on stage and you're just looking around, and I suddenly realised I was in this group of absolutely brilliant, neurodivergent, proud women. And that's actually a very unique thing that doesn't happen very often. So that was my favourite part, and it was a really wonderful thing to see and to display and to demonstrate.
Without even realising what we had done. Lost girls, feeling odd, different, and trying to fit in. Anxiety causing us to feel like running, sitting still.
I think what Hannah has done creating Neurodelicious is a wonderful thing, and I feel that what the industry can do is support Neurodelicious, really, because I feel like it's taken really a lot of time for that to come to the fore, and I think supporting autistic and ADHD and neurodivergent creatives would go a long way to diversifying different entertainment and performances, and that's what the world needs right now. So I think that's the best thing that it can do.
My favourite part about this tour specifically, Neurodelicious Does Drag, was the sense of experimentation, of excitement, of teamwork, working with our artistic director, Johnny Valentine. So yeah, Johnny is an incredible artistic director. I feel like they drew out this sense of joy and play in me and empowered me to just try new things and to not be afraid to make mistakes and to take those risks. And I just felt really supported, really encouraged, and there was a real sense of joy whilst we were creating the work, which you can't really capture the value of that. But I can't wait to do some more work like that. The whole process was joyful, and when you just feel like you're walking in purpose, you're enjoying it. This is what life is about.
What was your favourite part of the show?
Favourite part of the show? That is a really tricky. My favourite part of Vaults was when we had one of the aubergines exploded, and it was completely unplanned, and it was probably a health and safety nightmare, but it was just one of those moments in time when you're just like, this is genius. We can never recreate this, but it was just perfect, and everyone just rolled with it. But just this idea of play, and obviously the emoji of the aubergine has connotations in and of itself, so we just went a bit ridiculous with it and enjoyed it.
I think the way we approach it might be certainly unique to other organisations. I mean, we're very much a family here anyway. It's very much Team Mercury. We are a family, and we like people who work with us to feel part of that unit. It certainly should never feel as though it's us and them. And I think that helps break down barriers. It also helps keep an open platform for conversation, for somebody to say, listen, I do need additional support, and why shouldn't we provide it? It's not rocket science. It's about giving what people need. I think I'd like to see a bit more empowerment from the artists themselves, but also from the industry as a whole, that being neurodivergent is often the secret ingredient, and actually it needs to be shouted about. Get all the allies on board, shout, scream, stamp your feet, be creative about it, get everybody on board, because we have to come to the very, very clear, for me, it's clear for me, that great minds do not think alike. I think we need to embrace that and continue to create theatre and do it in an open, supportive, honest and fun way. And let's not forget the important thing, this is all about fun. It's all about enjoyment. So if we can make everybody feel as though they're being supported and feel valued, then you can't go wrong.
All right, okay. So here we go on.
Oh, thanks. Well, first of all, I've got to tell you a bit of a secret. I've got a crush. Ooh. Yeah. I always joke about the fact that I never went to drama school. I've got an arts practice degree, which is very generic, multidisciplinary. But looking through my life, I mean, I've done sex education for year 9. If you can teach sex education to year 9, you can perform on any stage in the world, in my opinion. And I think it's like, actually, let's look at what our life experience have taught us. Obviously, I am very open to more professional development, because you can always learn, you can always do better. But it's recognising that actually life shapes us and we have stuff to offer. We just might not have gone a conventional route.
You know, we don't know the specific details yet, so it's more of that feeling. And I think for me, that's the main difference between, you know, before we became a CIC, it now feels like we've got, you know, there's a whole organisational structure, there's a brand, there's a name, there's a kind of collective identity for what we're doing. So psychologically, that makes a big difference to me, because it just, I don't know, it just feels more official and substantial, the fact that that structure in the collective is growing.
You're going to get this a lot when you work with artists who are neurodivergent, but what was the question again?
What is the future? What's the future?
Oh yes, the future for the organisation. I really hope it's going to be working in an awful lot more collaborations with all kinds of interesting other artists, companies, influencers, individuals across performance art and live art.
And we're going to take over the world. We're going on a world tour. We'll be at the National Theatre. Watch this space.